I wanted to talk about this little frog guy because this is honestly very interesting and it's piqued my interest in many ways. Now, we're going to talk about it from two different angles, the actual video and my personal encounters with reptilians. Now, really quickly, the actual video honestly is very convincing. I don't think it's AI, mostly because of how the creature is moving. I know there's a few different uploads of different sounds coming from the creature, but the way it's moving and like the rhythmic thing that it does with its hands on the roof, that just was a little too creepy, honestly. And it just doesn't look AI generated. It looks like an actual thing. But that's just based on observation. I had an encounter with reptilians way back in the summer of 2018, and my own experience kind of aligns a little bit with this video, so we're going to talk about that. For whatever reason, I had been targeted by reptilians. I could kind of tell you why, but you probably wouldn't believe me. But regardless, I had an experience and it lasted for a while, and I do have a friend that I actively talk with that was a part of some of that experience. But it had nothing to do with that frogman specifically, but what I'm going to share has to do with the frogman, and this is what most people have never heard as far as reptilians go. Now, when I was being observed by these creatures, what first started happening was late in the middle of the night in my apartment. I would see blue orbs, like a pair of blue orbs staring at me, and it would just flash. And it would not just be one or like one instance, it would be happening throughout the entire night. I would feel pricks and tethers, and like something was touching me like that in very private areas, well below my waist, and it was very unpleasant. And if you know anything about the lore or history with reptilians, they are known to do stuff like that, and they're trying to tether into your chakras and attach themselves to you. But that's more about the reptilians. This is a frog dude, so we're going to call it an amphibianoid or whatever. I don't know. I've never really seen many people talk about the frog people. But interestingly enough, there is something along the lines of a frog person in my experience with these beings. Now, I guess, I don't know, I've never really heard anyone share something like this, but I'm guessing when they have someone of interest, they come in three waves. The first wave is usually the frog people. The frog dudes just kind of set aside in the background, and honestly, it happened a little bit before I was seeing the blue orbs, but I didn't fully detect them. But when I saw the blue orbs, which is the second wave, which is more of the reptilians, the ones that are about humanoid size, a little bigger than the frog dude, honestly. But it was late in the middle of the night. I had my temperature gun, this exact thing, to be honest. And so you could see, I was going around my apartment just holding it, and you could see the beam of light in the dark. But these things, when they would move through the beam, they would actually make it turn off. So if you want to hunt for reptilians, you could use temperature guns, and that's not a joke. But anyways, generally speaking, these creatures are not good. I actually did physically see something. I'm not crazy. I saw the third wave before any of this shit really started happening. And I've talked about it, but the video got taken down for whatever reason. And I actually do have a photo of a handprint that was left in my apartment. I'm not going to share it in this video. If you guys want to see it, I'll make a video about it. But that experience ultimately left physical marks on my body. I had bruises. It was pretty traumatic, honestly. And it wasn't even just reptilians. I was using Signal back in 2018 when it wasn't as known, and I was using it for kind of business stuff, not like drugs or anything, I swear to God. And it happened multiple times, but I was on video calls on Signal, and there was a phone call on Signal, and something intercepted that call. There was the one with my former ex-best friend, and when we were on the video call, something glitched it, and it was reacting very weird. It was not right. It freaked me out. And then when I was on the phone call, something intercepted that call as well. I heard my friend's voice, and then I heard his voice duplicated. He heard it as well, and something was trying to speak as if it was him. I'm not crazy. There's really weird shit that does happen. But ultimately, that is why I really think this video is a little more than real. Now, I didn't see the frog people when they were doing the observation thing, but I got a good impression of what they do and what they look like, kind of. It's all very interesting, and especially with the release of AI technology, it's got a lot of people questioning what is real and what isn't. But it makes things interesting for discussion. But as far as I'm concerned, that frog thing is most likely real. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts on any of this, honestly. The truth is out there, and there's a lot more to be seen.